Well, I'm coming to you from the Google campus in Mountain View, California. We're at the site of the Google I/O 2024. We were assured of some breakthrough major announcements in the realm of AI. So has Sundar Pichai and his team delivered? What are some of these announcements and what do they mean? We'll try to answer some of these questions. First up, just a caveat here, a lot of these developments and announcements are directional in nature, so they may not become immediately available for the users, but it does give the indication and the direction in which Google is pursuing its AI journey. So beginning with that caveat, here's the major and the biggest announcement. 3 creative tools being announced by Google at the I/O 2024. First is Imagine 3. Under this tool, the user will be at liberty to generate photorealistic images based on textual prompts. So imagine, as a case in point, a cat playing a guitar. A photorealistic image will be created by Imagine 3. The second major announcement was, of course, the VO. This is a text-to-video tool being generated, being released, being announced by Google. Now, this again is hugely important. Again, using the same example, imagine a cat playing the guitar in a video. Now, the video that is generated by VO will be of 1080p. So these are high-resolution videos we're talking about. To create time-lapse videos, these were some of the examples that were shared in the course of the I/O. This importantly comes on the back of OpenAI's Sora. Now, at the time, Sora, while it is available only for limited use, had created massive headlines as to the impact this could have on the content creation economy, on what this means for influencers, for content creators, for media houses, as well as for large production houses going forward as well. And finally, there's, of course, music FX. This, of course, is another tool being launched by Google. What this does is that it creates sounds and music loops based on inputs and prompts given by the user. So imagine a Carnatic music with a sitar. So that will be a loop that will be created under this model by Google. So that's as far as the generative AI field is concerned, but there's also a lot more that came from the Google I/O 2024. Another key announcement that was made was integration of Gemini with search. What they're trying to do with this iteration of search, which is enabled by Gemini, is to create customized, curated search results for you. So imagine searching for a restaurant in a busy city based on a certain budget or a certain type of music. That is something that will now become accessible slowly. Imagine also a situation where you may be trying to plan an itinerary for a trip, for a 5-day trip, depending on a certain budget consideration. That is something that can now be enabled through this Gemini plus search combine. It will first be available to users in the US and then subsequently to users in the rest of the world. Another key announcement was the integration of Google, of Android, with Gemini. Now, what's critical is that this is another tool that will become available to Android users, who will then be able to use the vast potential of Gemini. So whether that's trying to summarize a video, trying to summarize a lecture, trying to garner some key inputs from a PDF file, these are functions that a user will now be able to perform courtesy this integration between Gemini as well as Android. And finally, and this is in the domain of misinformation and deepfakes, there is talk that was made here about the direction in which Google is seeking to work for open sourcing of watermarking synthetic content. There's a lot of conversation back home in India on how to combat deepfakes, how to combat AI-enabled misinformation. One of the solutions that has been doing the rounds is to watermark synthetically generated content. That is the direction that Google is keen on working on in terms of open sourcing of watermarking. This will enable developers to put out solutions for watermarking of content. So again, that's the broad theme here. That, of course, is just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more happening. We'll, of course, continue to get our viewers the latest from Mountain View, California, from Google I/O 2024.